everyone, and welcome to Sip Happens. Life's too short not to sip and tell, where love, travel, food, and a little bit of chaos all come together.
It's Ben and Dustin. We're partners in life, travel buddies, and occasional food critics.
And we're bringing you real stories from our 16 years together. The good, the messy, hilarious, and sometimes fucked up moments.
We'll be sharing everything from how we met to what it's like starting over in a new city, our throuple journey, our favorite eats, and the random adventures we somehow survive.
Plus, we'll be taking your story requests. So if you want the real behind-the-scenes scoops, you're in the right place.
We hope you've got a drink.
Because we've got one.
Sounds like it's time to get comfy. Now let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start off with a segment that we'll call Not Today. It's kind of like a I'm not having it situation. So just to set the stage a little bit, this is Sunday. We woke up in Sunday Fun Day form. So we are ready. We walked over to one of our favorite brunch spots, which is La Garde. That's a Cajun kind of brunch spot that's like not that far away. So we had great brunch, bomb samosas. You know, we're living our best life. So then we decided to go to Decatur for another art festival, even though we've already been to 3 in the past 3 weeks. We were
Because apparently that's all there is to do in Atlanta these days in springtime is just go to an art fest. So we're hitting all of them.
And there's another one next weekend. So y'all get ready for that.
Count us there.
We've not hung any of the art that we bought at any of these yet. But anyways, so we were like, let's just ride the MARTA because, you know, we've had bomb samosas and, you know, it's cheap. It's whatever. It's the safer thing to do. So that's what we did. We decided to ride the PP-filled MARTA. And the MARTA is just not today MARTA. It's a whole situation. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely would agree. So going down there was fine. I mean, it's just the MARTA, so you get what you get. We had to transfer trains, which is usually fine. It was going down there, but then on our way back, we get to our transfer point at 5 points, and we need to go back to northbound. There's no signage, nothing saying that anything is closed other than it's just closed. I guess I should say there's nothing pointing us in the right direction. So we finally found a security guard, the only one that's there apparently, and asked him, how do we get to the northbound side? He was like, oh, it's closed. Yeah, I got that part. So he was like, oh, well, you have to take the elevator back up to the very top level, cross over, and then come back all the way down.
Because that's simple.
Totally simple, especially when there's 2 different train tracks coming in multiple directions.
And we're buzzed, carrying art, all the things.
All the things. So we finally get to what we thought was the right direction, and that was still the east-westbound track. So we were like, okay, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, I don't know at this point. My buzz is wearing off. I'm carrying art. I don't know what's going on. Ben's ready to get an Uber. He was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like,
Uber to the bar or jump on the train tracks. They were really my only options left. I don't know.
Y'all know he's a little dramatic. So I was like, well, let's try one more time to figure out how to get to the lower level. So we finally get down there. The train comes. It's going southbound. We're like, okay, well, they said that we have to get on the southbound platform to go north. So let's just wait and make sure this train comes the correct direction. It finally did. We finally get on the northbound train. But can I just tell you how much of a buzzkill it is to walk around the MARTA station not knowing where the hell you are, carrying art? We were buzzed, but that wore off very quickly.
And it smelled like pee-pee, and we needed to pee-pee.
Also that. So this trip seemed like it was 10 years long. And I don't know. The MARTA was just not doing it for me this afternoon on our way back home. So
the MARTA was MARTA-ing, and it's a not today situation. Okay, so just to let y'all know, we are sipping on some Pinot Grigio today, which is also my husband's blood type. So that's just a fun fact.
That's rude.
All right, so let's get into and let's talk about why we started this thing. Because honestly, this wasn't some planned 6-month in the making project. And you know, we're planners, and it was not this way with this.
Definitely not. This was more like a, hey, we're already talking and having wild conversations over drinks. Should we just record it?
And well, I made that late night Facebook post there was a surprising amount of interest from reactions to comments to DMs from people that we expected and some we haven't talked to in years, maybe even decades.
Exactly. And let's just start off with we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Although we're glad you're here. We've been through a lot together in 16 years of love, travel, drama, growth, the throuple life, all of it. And we figured someone out there has to relate, right?
Or at least be nosy enough to want to hear about it. Either way, welcome and have a sip.
We wanted something real, something funny, slightly unfiltered, like catching up with friends who aren't afraid to tell the truth or overshare a little, because I'm really good at that.
And let's be honest, life's messy, relationships are layered, and our dynamic, not exactly traditional, but that's what makes it worth talking about, and that's what makes us us.
So, whether we're spilling the tea, unpacking relationship wins and maybe some fails, or sharing listener stories that make us say, wait, what? This is definitely the space for it.
Speaking of the space, so we have a podcast studio in our building, and we thought, great, it's right down the hall, a way to get out of our place for a bit, and it helps me live my best, like, only murders in the building situation. And then I asked the front desk about scheduling the studio because it has this fancy equipment and all this. And they said, we need a cashier's check to reserve it. I'm sorry, what? It's 2025, like not today. So I got on Amazon, ordered these cute little mics, and they were here by 4 a.m. And here we are.
Seriously, we had no idea how much work actually went into launching a podcast. We thought we had the equipment covered with the studio, but that was obviously a fail. So thanks, honey. These cute little mics, which it honestly gives us a little flexibility. We could be on the rooftop, on our balcony, wherever we want to be. Then there's the recording platform, which I'm thankful for my MacBook Pro. It's been awesome with this pre-installed software. I bought it just because I thought it was cute, but now I think it's really going to get its use. Then there's the recording and editing, which we're trying to limit as much as possible. So just go with it. All right.
But here we are. We made it to episode 1, and we already have some juicy topics lined up. Like, well, us, duh, and the sometimes thrilling events that happen. In general, a relationship, travel, food, and honestly, just all the things.
Oh, and don't forget the cocktails. I mean, the show isn't named Sip to Happen for no reason.
So if you're down to sip and tell with us, follow, subscribe, and send in your stories. If you want to be anonymous, we guess that's fine. Only kidding, of course.
So let's get into it. Why was now the right time?
I think that we're just at a good point in our life to do something like this. I think that honestly, we're in the best place we've been in a really long time. So for those of you who don't know, we each had a big weight loss journey. We each lost over 100 pounds. And I feel like that really helped us come out of our shell and do all the things that we were kind of uncomfortable with, because we were very much like a pattern. We just did kind of the same things every day. And then all of a sudden, surprise, we picked up our life and moved to Atlanta. And here we are. So I think it's just a good time. And people have told us for a really long time that we should do a podcast. And I was like, you're crazy. What the hell would we talk about? Like, that's not even a thing. But then when I made that little late night Facebook post after a couple glasses of wine and had the courage to do it, everybody was here for it. And I was like, well, let's give them what they want.
Also, we've had a little bit of drama since we've moved to Atlanta, and we'll get into that later, but that's kind of what prompted the podcast thing.
There's that.
But then we were like, well, surely there's more that we can talk about because that story is not going to last. Again, we'll cover that later.
So y'all get ready.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so who do we want to listen?
Honestly, anyone, but let's be real. This show is not going to be for everyone. There's going to be quite a bit of unfiltered information that might be surprising or maybe even a little uncomfortable. But hell, that's life and shit. I mean, sip happens.
Sip, sip, hooray.
So, what were you most surprised about after your post received so much attention?
Okay, so normally when I have these crazy ideas and I mention them to my husband, I think he just like probably pours me a glass of wine and is like, okay, honey, whatever. And so this time when I made the post, some of you may notice I didn't tag him in it at first because I was like, he's not going to
Rude.
be here. He's not going to be here for this. And then like the next day, later in the day, he was awfully quiet, and I was like, "You good?" Like, because I mean, for those of you who don't know, we work from home. We share an office. We're with each other literally 24/7.
It was bad enough in Charlotte, but we at least had separate rooms there. But now we're literally back to each other. But it's fine.
Correct.
Everything's fine.
Right. Right. So all of a sudden I was just like, so what are you doing? Like, are you good? Are you okay? Like, what's going on with your day? And he was like, oh my gosh, I have all the things lined up. And he had like a Facebook, Instagram, email, all of these things, name options. I mean, like literally I turned around and he like spewed off a million things at me. And I was like, what?
Look, I'm a planner. He says something he wants done. I'm going to try everything I can to make it happen. And so that's what I had to do.
I was totally here for it. It was just surprising.
Sorry about it.
What's some sip worthy tea about initially recording?
So I think honestly, it's just the fact that, first off, this is unreal that we're even recording this first episode.
First off, it's crazy that we live in Atlanta doing this because
also true.
I mean, we've been here 6 months, but 8 months ago, if someone would have said like, you live in Atlanta, we would be like, you're stupid. There's no way.
We're good in Charlotte. And we were.
But here we are.
Life changes. We sold our house completely unexpected. Good thing I have my real estate license. And yeah, we made the move and couldn't be happier. But anyways, back to the initial recording. Honestly, I didn't think how much work would go into it, but also just the amount of vulnerability and the fact that our lives are literally on air and out to be blasted to the entire world is a little intimidating, which kind of brings me to like my next question of how does it make you feel being vulnerable and putting our life out in the open for literally anyone to listen to? Because I know that's your favorite thing is to be vulnerable.
I should have taken a sip for this one. I think old Ben would have totally had a really, really hard time with this, and he would have shut this down immediately because being outside my comfort zone was something that I would have never done. I think new Ben lives a new life, and I try and be more vulnerable. It's something that I definitely can struggle with. But I'm really excited about it. I think just for people to hear about our life and just the fact that we've been together for so long and
which is honestly intimidating for a lot of people.
For sure. I mean, 16 years. I was basically like 3 when you met me. I mean,
Bitch,
look at
please. Because he's 29 for I don't know how many years on repeat at this point.
Duh. But no, I think it's just it'll be a little challenging for sure. But I'm excited for people to hear a lot of the stories that I think, especially with our throuple journey, like
that's a big topic that everybody wants to hear about.
For sure. I think that's something that people are scared to ask about. And I totally get it because it's not
traditional.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of stories in all of that we've never really shared. It's just like we post a picture with somebody and we're just like, oh, we're happy. And then people would message us and be like, oh my God, y'all look so happy. So I think to finally be able to come out and talk about that and help other people who are going through that or have questions or struggling with that or any of the above or all of the above. I'm really excited about that.
I also think that this is a good point to, if you haven't noticed already, this might not be a overly family-friendly podcast.
Surprise.
But we're also not super family-friendly ourselves.
There's that.
But it's us, and it is what you get. I don't know what else to tell you. So I hope we don't overly offend anybody, but here we are telling everything, our deepest, darkest secrets on air, blasting it to the whole world to hear.
And y'all are welcome for that.
You're welcome.
So what's coming next? Throuple, general topics, really juicy shit we probably shouldn't be telling you aka our most recent relationship that honestly not many people know the deets about.
But you're going to find out on them. But you have to stay tuned because we're not sharing them right now.
And you're going to need a lot of sips for that
A
story.
lot of sips. It's probably going to cover at least 2 episodes.
Or more.
Or more. So we're also going to do travel adventures. I guess I could say this episode is brought to you by Next Destination Travel Solutions, aka me. If you're looking for travel, please let me know. I'd love to help you. If you don't know, I do have a side travel business, and I've really enjoyed that journey in my life to be able to plan amazing vacations for friends, neighbors, family. It's just been really rewarding to see people go and explore different aspects of the world, and that I had a hand in that. So we'll also include some of our travel adventures, and we want to do more of that. That was one of our goals with moving and selling our life and relocating to Atlanta. So there'll be some of that too.
Also, you've seen some of our travel adventures that he planned. So he does a pretty good job at it.
Pretty good.
He does a really good job at it.
That's better. Thanks, honey.
However, if your trip sounds great, I might want to just tag along. Just full disclosure.
Yeah, there's been several clients I've been like, what if your travel advisor comes along with you?
For real.
We haven't actually done it, but I've been tempted with some of the trips.
But there's a first for everything.
There is a first for everything.
So y'all get ready for that. We'll always talk about food and cocktails for sure, because that's what we do.
We also want this to be short and fun, something you can listen to when you don't have a lot of time and yet you need a little hot piping tea. We know you're all very busy, even those of you that we know that are listening and are retired. Yeah, I'm calling out our friends and neighbors from the vineyards. That was our previous neighborhood for those of you that don't know, but these retired folks that became our dearest friends always had the most busy schedules.
They were busier than me.
So busy, and they didn't have a job to intertwine into their busyness. So we love all of you, and that's kind of what we're looking for. All right, enough about the podcast, although that's why we're here. But anyways, we're going to get into another little mini segment of would you rather sip or skip? But there's not really any skipping here.
But I feel like there's going to be a lot of sipping.
A lot of sipping.
Basically, we're going to hit each other with some ridiculous, spicy, slightly unhinged would you rather questions.
And we have to answer. No skipping, no stalling. Sip your drink and spill the truth.
And listen, if you're at home listening, play along. You can pause, debate, judge us, whatever. Just don't act like you wouldn't choose the same thing because, newsflash, I'm always right.
He is always right. I hate to admit it. All right, let's go. First question. Would you rather explain our relationship to a nosy stranger every day or let your parents read your group chat out loud?
That's a giant sip. I would definitely rather explain a relationship to a nosy stranger every day because my parents don't need to read what's going on in any of my group chats.
That's true, although we won't go into all of those details in this, but this podcast is basically going to exploit a lot of the details of our life that some people may not know about. So it may not be the spiciness that's in the group chat, but there's going to be some other details that they probably don't want to know, and you might not either. But guess what? We're going to tell you anyways.
Yeah, that's some jaw dropper shit for sure. Okay, so let's see. Would you rather have to plan every date night forever or never get to pick the restaurant again? And I already know his answer, and I'm so annoyed with it.
That's a great question. I never want to pick a restaurant ever again.
Or anything in life.
Shut up. But he's not wrong. I don't know. I feel like I make a lot of decisions in work. So outside of work, I don't want to have to make a decision. And we're both indecisive, and that doesn't go well for either of us.
I don't mind planning. I just need a little bit of feedback.
But I don't want to.
Correct.
At all.
Correct.
But He forces me to sometimes.
I will say you did plan that date night the other week, though, when we went to eat Japanese, and they tried to get me to take my shoes off, and I lost my mind.
Oh, yeah. That's
Um,
going to have to be a not today moment.
yeah, so y'all stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
But you did plan it, and
I-
I didn't even know.
You didn't, but because I wanted some good Japanese food. The
So-
food was great.
So he's going to hold that over my head for the next 16 years. Remember that one date I planned is going to be it.
Look, it doesn't happen often, so I'll take it. Would you rather accidentally record over your best episode or have your mic off the entire time?
I feel like we may have done a little bit of both already, and
True.
this is our first episode. I would probably say I wouldn't want to record over the best episode, so I would say have my mic off the entire time. Either one would super annoy me, but
Yeah, either one. I'm kind of the same because if it's the best episode and then we recorded over it or your mic's off, we have to re-record all of it anyways. But
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. But like Ben said, we've already accidentally recorded over something already, so there's that.
Would you rather get a 1-star review from your mom or your boss? That's a double-edged sword.
That is a double-edged sword. I guess my mom, because I don't really know why, but I guess my mom.
Which, when she hears some of the things on this, she'll wish
there's going to be a 1-star review, and I might be disowned from the family if I'm not already.
Yeah, I mean, she already disapproves of your shorts that you wear when we were on a cruise. So Dustin wears very short shorts or chubbies.
Look, it's her fault, honestly.
No, he's got legs for days. I'm not mad at him.
She gave me these legs, honey, and I need to show them off. So when Chubbies came out with 4 inches, I was here for it. Then when they launched 2-inch this season, baby, I was all over them. And my mother likes to call me out on Facebook and be like, "Where's your pants?" They're there, Mom.
Actually, she'll just say something's missing.
True.
And she's like, the other 3 to 4 inches. And I'm like, well, if you're upset about that, you should see his swimmies because they're way shorter.
Honey, let me tell you.
I just caught when he wears those super short shorts. I'm just like, oh, you're wearing your diaper today. That's cute, baby.
Such a bitch. All right. Now that we've sipped a bit through those questions.
Isn't that the point? I mean, sip happens, and so does oversharing.
True, and we know I like to overshare. Well, let's shift gears before we say something that gets us canceled, we haven't already.
That part.
It's time for our next little mini segment. We're going to call it Bite of the Week.
Okay, so this is where we share one thing we ate this week that was so good. We're for sure, we're still thinking about it.
It might be something homemade. It could be takeout. It might be a random snack. Whatever made us say, okay, wait, this hit. So what was yours this week?
Okay, so, well, one disappointment, and I know this is like not the bite of the week, but I wanted margaritas and Mexican all week long. And yesterday I woke up super crabby. And
super crabby.
Right. So we chose a spot from our list and we went there, and their margaritas tasted like hose water with a hint of lime. So that was a not today. I should have used that for my not today, actually.
You should have.
Not the Marta. Well, the Marta was still not today. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. Bite of the day. Got it. Bite of the week. Sorry. So today at brunch, I had the fluffiest pancakes that I've ever had. And the honey butter tasted like it was from the heavens. Like God sent an angel down to deliver it just
so dramatic
for my pancakes. And like, it's hard to find a spot with really good pancakes, especially one we can walk to. Usually it's Cracker Barrel. Their pancakes are always on point. But
these were far superior.
Yes. And the maple syrup. I actually didn't even need syrup. You just needed the honey butter. However, the syrup was a great addition. So I would say the pancakes from heaven and the angel himself that made the butter and put it on the pancakes for me.
So I don't know that I have a specific bite of the week, but over the last couple of weeks, we've gone to restaurants. One of them was this morning. Another restaurant we went to a week or so ago. And so there's this place in Concord, Huntersville area, back in the Charlotte area where we used to live, our first Charlotte house. And they had these buffalo homemade potato chips that were tossed in buffalo sauce. They were so good. And they were topped with blue cheese. obviously, because you can't have buffalo sauce without blue cheese. I know some of you may hate it. Bite my ass. I don't care. It's amazing. So we went to this place a week or so ago, and they had homemade potato chips and had this creamy blue cheese.
It was like a fondue.
A fondue, that's right. And I was like, okay, I asked the waitress, I was like, y'all also make your homemade buffalo sauce. So I'm going to need like a cup of that on the side. She was like, okay, no problem. So she brings out our homemade chips with this amazing blue cheese fondue on the top and this cup of homemade buffalo sauce. Of course, I drizzled the buffalo sauce all over the chips and the blue cheese fondue. She comes back over. She's like, honey, I'm about to pull up a chair because that shit looks fire. She's like, I'm getting the chef out here. He need to come look at this that you just made on this plate.
And the manager.
Right. The manager came over too because the waitress went back and grabbed the manager. So we had this whole audience sitting at this table of this little pub bar while we were pre-making our little appetizer. So that was one. And I'm going to give a second because it's kind of...
Was that Hobnob?
I think it was Hobnob.
The rest of the food was not good, but that was good.
But that was great. So similar type situation this morning at brunch. They had this amazing chicken biscuit, and it also could come with a side of sausage gravy. Well, if you don't know me,
honey, this bitch love a sausage gravy.
I do love a sausage gravy, especially from a Cajun restaurant, and that's what Lagarde is. So delicious. Of course, I had to order that. But you could also get a side of andouille sausage. So because my fat ass didn't need just a chicken biscuit with an egg and some sausage gravy on it, I also needed some andouille sausage. So I split this biscuit open. So one side was the chicken, the egg, topped with the sausage gravy, obviously. The other side was originally just the biscuit. Also, then I doused it in the sausage gravy and then added the andouille sausage on top of that.
And Crystal hot sauce.
And then she brought over some Crystal hot sauce, which my Southern roots really come out when it comes to hot sauce because there is no other better hot sauce than Crystal hot sauce.
Preach.
So I doused all of it in the Crystal hot sauce. And once again, the waitress comes over. She's like, baby, what did you just make on your plate? Because I need to have some of that. So told her what I did. Nothing crazy. I literally just took the top of the biscuit off and made my own little second half, because if you also don't know this about me, I love an option. I can't just order a single pizza. If we're ordering pizza, I need at least 4.
Honey, what's the whole buffet line?
I need some options, but I don't want to go to like a buffet because that's not my jam. But I need options. So I'm not ordering just a pepperoni pizza. That might be one of them, but there's going to be 3 others and probably some, breadsticks, some garlic knots, something else. Wings, definitely wings.
Sauces.
So we got way off topic.
Hence today we went to Leon Service Indicator because they have the best, strangest cocktails around.
True.
And we were like, we need little snacks here. Let's get some French fries. And she's like, you get 2 sauces. And we were like, nah, bruh.
Nah.
Bring me every sauce you have up in this bitch. And she did. And there
was about 8 of them. They were delicious.
Every single one.
It was $4 upcharge for all the sauces, but it was worth it.
Take my money.
It was delicious.
Take it all. I don't care.
Well, this bite of the week went in many different directions, so you're welcome.
Right, that part.
Sip happens, and here we are.
Oh my God, yeah, I love that.
Thanks, that was so convincing. Okay, in all seriousness though, if y'all try these, or if you have your own food bites, slide into our DMs or tag us. We want to hear what's on your plate too.
And we love a reason to snack, especially if it's a Trader Joe's snack, because Trader Joe's has the best snacks. But we'll get a snack from anywhere. We're not that picky.
And we'll talk more about Trader Joe's snacks in the future because we have a list of them already to talk about.
That could be a 6 to 9 week episode.
If Trader Joe's wants to sponsor us for our snacks mentioned in our bite of the week, we're welcome to that.
Come through, Trader Joe's.
Come through.
I think that wraps up our bites, our wild questions, and our official kickoff into podcast life.
Sip, sip, hooray. We're so glad that you're here for this ride. And trust us, it's only going to get more fun, more real, and probably a little more unfiltered from here.
If you laughed, nodded, cringed, or yelled same at any point, go ahead and hit follow, subscribe, or whatever your app says. Just hit it.
Okay, but we also need something from y'all too. We're taking requests. You have a crazy story you want us to react to? What's the wildest thing that happened to you on your last trip? Have a burning question? Is there a topic you want us to dive into? Nothing is off limits. Send it all. Slide into our DMs or email sip.happenspodcast@outlook.com. Again, that's sip.happenspodcast@outlook.com. We'll read or respond to it, with your permission, of course, on the show.
So catch you next time on Sip Happens, because life's too short not to sip and tell.
Thank y'all so much for listening. Now go grab a snack and refill your glass, because I know we certainly are.